So what is meditation? First of all, let's understand the origin of the word, because there are many misunderstandings in these disciplines like martial arts, yoga, Zen, and similar disciplines. The word meditation in the dictionary, or at least the old dictionary, English, French, Latin, uh, has doesn't have the same meaning as the word meditation or the term meditation in Eastern disciplines like yoga and Zen and martial arts. The word meditation that we use in in Zen and all these disciplines is a mistranslation of the word dhyan or dhyana. And that word doesn't have an does not have the same. There's no equivalent word for that in Latin languages. It just doesn't exist. And the closest word they found for that was the word meditation, which in English or Latin languages does not mean the same thing when we talk about meditation as I'm meditating on this, meditating on that. That's a different meaning. There's a different meaning to that. It's closer to thinking about, or you know analyzing, studying, or uh, it's like concentrating almost. That's why a lot of times, because I'm from Morocco, and a lot of times when we were kids and we would see someone sitting in meditation, we would say, "Oh, he's concentrating." But we would use the French word because French is the second language in Morocco. But that's what we used before. That's what people used. He's concentrating. Okay. So, anyways, these terms are. I mean, the word meditation. It's very important for people to know the origin of the word. So that's why I'm emphasizing on that before I talk about meditation. It's always important to clear out misconceptions and uh, misunderstandings before you begin, so that people can understand fully what you're talking about and what you're trying to convey. So, this thing we call meditation, what is it? Well, you see, meditation, dhyan, Now we're using meditation, talking about meditation in the Eastern sense. Meditation is not something you do. That's another thing people misunderstand. We got used to talking, and saying things like, oh, I'm going to go meditate, or I want to meditate, or I did 30 minutes meditation. It's fine, but very misleading, because this practice, or not practice, but this nature of meditation is not something you do. It's not something you do. It's like saying happiness. It's like I'm talking, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go do a little bit of happiness and I'll come back. And hey guys, you know what? Yesterday I sat down in absolute happiness for like 1 hour. I was doing happiness for 1 hour. Wow. And then it just slipped away. It sounds ridiculous and funny. That's the way I hear meditation when I hear someone talk about meditation. Because many people don't understand. See, just like happiness, happiness is a state you create through either an activity or a mindset, emotional state, you know? Then happiness is a result of that. But you can't go and do happiness. That's not the nature of what happiness is. Happiness is a consequence. Meditation is a consequence too. It's not an act, it's not an action. But unfortunately, people now have begun or have been considering these techniques of meditation as meditation. Of course, there are people who know the difference, but there are a lot who don't. So, it's important to clear up these things. Meditation is a result of a certain way of being with yourself. That's what meditation is. So, what happens when you do that? When you do the techniques to reach that, to create that atmosphere of meditation? You can say I want to go into meditation. I want to be meditative, or something like that. It's closer to the real meaning. So why meditation? How meditation? All that. We can talk about that. Before why, let's talk about how and what is it for, which is a little bit like why, but more scientific. So meditation. You see, when when our house is messy, we know we want to clean it up and we want to put order, and when our car is dirty, we clean it. When it's out of gas, we put in gas. When our clothes are dirty, when we are dirty, we take a shower. When we're not feeling good, we try to make ourselves feel good, either by a healthy way or an unhealthy way. But we still try in the best way that we know. So meditation is a little similar to that, but It does not concern our body. It does not concern our clothes, our belongings. It concerns us. To align ourselves once again with the cosmic alignment. I know this sounds very philosophical and all, you know, all that, but it's the truth, and I can explain. There's a natural order to things. It's not because we are here or we believe in it, or people can call it many different things, but there's a natural order. Like Bob Marley would say, there's a natural mystic. uh, Going through the air. It's the same thing. When we are in tune with that, we are balanced. And everything needs balance. Meditation is balancing yourself with the cosmic or the natural order of things. When you do that, that's when people say you're in harmony with nature. But I'm trying not to use all these words that people know now because they're so mainstream. They're so they have been corrupted and misused so many times. I'm trying not to use those so that people don't go back into that mindset. I'm trying to bring light to something new. So I have to use new words, new ways of communicating, not the ways that people are used to hearing all the time. It has to be something fresh. So meditation is aligning or readjusting yourself to what is already adjusted, which is the natural order of things. This natural order of things is not something physical. Uh, I'm not talking about the trees, the mountains, the rivers. I'm talking about what's moving the river, what's making the tree grow, what's behind all this. It's not a physical thing in nature. It's beyond physical, if you like. We won't get too much into that, but it's just to understand what meditation is. When we are not in harmony or not in balance or in alignment with the natural order of things, we go crazy. Either our emotions take over, either our thoughts take over, you know, or in some serious cases, our bodies take over. Our body starts to move and we don't know how to sit still. It's easier to sit still physically, but not everybody can sit still mentally, emotionally, energetically. That's the root of every human being. Their energy, their source, and then their emotions, and then their thoughts or intellect, and then the body. Everything starts from the energy on an energetic level. You see, these things that I'm talking about may seem very poetic, and they're not. They may seem poetic and just theories and concepts to people who have never had experiences in these dimensions, which is very understandable. You need an experience. Only then you can know something. Otherwise, you'll just be forced to either believe in it or disbelieve in it, and both of them are not good. We want to know. We don't want to believe this or that, and we don't want to be foolish enough to disbelieve this or that. We want to know. We want to know what the thing is. So, meditation. Sitting meditation is the most known form of meditation or technique leading to meditation, meditativeness, which exists in yoga and Zen practices. And you sit, you just sit still. The body sits, you sit your body still. Your breathing happens all by itself. You don't have to do it. You just forget your breath. You breathe by yourself. Don't try to do anything. What we do in meditation and when we practice this is that we want to focus, we want to raise our awareness, we want to sharpen our perception, sense of perception. When everything is still, then you can see things the way they are more and more, understand things the way they are more and more. Why? Because there's no more there's no more the word just ran out of my mouth. There's no more distortion, or that's not the right word, but when everything gets laid down and cleaned up, like for example, like same example with your room. When your room is so messy and you want to find something in your room, it's impossible to find it because everything is messy and everything is here and there and you don't know. It's all a mess. But when you put order in your room, okay, then you're like, oh, I want my book. So you go and, okay, my books are here. You look, oh, there it is. Alphabetical order, or it's easier to find. So our mind works the same way. When our mind is, we leave our mind just go wild. When we let our mind go wild and when we let our emotions go wild and we don't know how to regain control or order, then being happy or miserable is by chance. Sometimes you're happy, most of the times you're unhappy, and you don't know how to find that happiness again. You don't know how to find that peace of mind again. And it just comes like that. All of a sudden, you don't know how, when, and you try to hold on to it. That's why, you see people when they find some happiness in their life or some peace, they seem to hold on to it so hard. They don't want to let go because they're afraid of letting it go. Why? Because if they let it go, they won't know how to find it again. They don't know how to find it again. Why? Because there is so much mess inside. So the first thing is not to get happy, because even if you get happy, you find something that makes you happy, or you find some peace of mind, it's very fragile. It's not going to last long. Why? There's no order. So you're going to always be afraid of losing it. And you're going to become defensive and aggressive and, violent. So the first thing, forget about being peaceful, happy, everything. Just forget about that. Just look inside. Look inside. Look in your emotions. Look in your mind. Look at your mind, at your emotions, at your energy. and little by little you start to recognize things. You start to understand things better about yourself and about how this works. Not the body, but not just the body. Everything that is you, that you call you or me, you start to understand its nature more and more. You begin to understand how this mind works, how these emotions work. When you know that, the more you know that, the more you will want to make it as pleasant as possible. You will never want to make your life experience a miserable one. There is no one stupid enough on this planet who, if they had full understanding and full control over their thought process and their emotions, that they would go and say, oh, I'd rather be sad today. I don't want to be happy. Such person does not exist. People are sad, miserable, unhappy, angry because they don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how to get out of it because they don't understand how this works. So this is why most of the time, or all the time, these practices are considered to be a science. Although many scientists, or many people think that science belongs to the West. Objective science, yes, the West has reached very high peaks in objective science, creating technology and everything we're using, internet, camera, and everything. But by doing that, we thought we would be happy. But we see that's not the case. People have everything. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about people who really have everything they want. Car, house, everything they need, everything. But they're just not happy. Their happiness is so fragile. Their well-being is so fragile. And they don't know what to do about it. And they just go from psychologist to psychiatrist. I think that's the right word. And they don't know what to do. They're always depressed. And that's simply because we have not spent enough time and attention to look at this one. We spend too much time looking, taking care of our clothes, our car, the outside. The outside is important only for comfort and convenience. But the inside is important for our well-being, for our peace, our bliss. That's why you can, if this was not true, the richest people or the people with the most possessions will always be the happiest people on earth. Always be. The most peaceful, the most happy, the most nice, the most loving. Because when you're really peaceful and happy, you are loving. You cannot be loving if you're not happy and peaceful, because where is that love going to come from if you're not, love is also an expression of your inner happiness, your inner joy, your inner peace. And then and those who don't have anything will always be miserable and unhappy and unable to smile, unable to laugh, but we all know that's not true. Especially people who have already traveled a little around the world, or at least outside of their city, and you know, in the countryside and all that, you see people living in the countryside. They have minimum stuff. They have little food to eat. They don't have much, you know, but you see how vibrant they are. How vibrant. They're full of life. When they laugh so hard. When they smile, they can bring tears to your eyes just by smiling or laughing, if you're sensitive enough. So everything begins with this one, not me, each individual. Everything starts with you. Everything starts from inside. Meditation is looking inside, taking care of inside, putting order inside, knowing how inside works, understanding how inside is and how inside works and functions and reacts to things and everything about the mechanics of subjectivity. That's why meditation is so powerful and effective. People don't really understand the nature of meditation. Then, you know, most people are just they just want to meditate to be peaceful. And I just want to be peaceful, so I'm going to meditate. It's good. You will be peaceful. But there's a lot more that meditation has to offer. If you want to be peaceful, it's very easy to make you peaceful. It's very easy. It may look very hard for you. You can come spend 1 or 2 days with me. I guarantee you I will make you a lot more peaceful than you if you're not peaceful. If you're not peaceful enough. It's not hard. But we're not looking for just to be peaceful. See, when we lack something, to us that's the highest achievement. If we have no peace, peace looks like the greatest thing. But when we get peace, oh, now I want to be happy. Okay, we get happy. Okay, if we stay happy long enough, okay, now I want to be really like ecstatic, blissful. We'll go there. So, ecstasy or bliss is the highest way of being in life. Peace is something basic. Peace is very basic. You cannot enjoy your meal if you're not peaceful. You cannot sleep if you're not peaceful. If you're really not peaceful. So peace is just basic. It's just the under layer of your life. It has to be there, but it's basic. Only when peace is established in you, then you're ready to go higher in your life experience. Only then are you ready to experience life fully. Peace is not the highest goal, it's the lowest goal. But unfortunately, even in religion and peace, you know what my religion means? It means peace. Peace is very basic. Don't get caught up in that. It's very basic. It's a necessary thing, but it's like if you're, if you haven't eaten for a few days, food would be like the most important thing for you. But you cannot create a whole religion out of food being the highest thing. because everyone knows that once you eat and your belly is full, okay, now you're peaceful and everything. Now not hungry anymore, you've enjoyed a good meal, now you want to do stuff. Now I want to write something. Now I want to learn something. Now I want to travel. Now I want to talk to people. Now I want to, I want to live now. You can't make food the basic thing, just like you can't make peace the highest thing. You can't make food the highest thing. You can't make peace the highest thing. So in meditation, we take the time and the attention to look within, to see our thoughts and to understand where they're coming from, to see our mental images and to know where they're coming from, to see our emotional state and to know where it's coming from and why it's there. Then when you do that, you are not identified by those things anymore. The danger is to be identified by them or identified with those things. When you're identified with those things, it's like they're taking you on a ride wherever they want to take you. You have no control over your emotions, over your thoughts. Someone on the street can just say something, shout something mean at you, and all of a sudden you're offended and you want to fight. When you understand all these things, people's insults will never do anything to you unless you allow it, unless you open yourself up to someone, which is open your heart to someone, as they say, or emotions to someone. Then you can feel hurt when they do something which touches you, which is normal. But when you know how to keep the distance between you and your thoughts and emotions, you can dictate to them how they should function. And again, once you are able to dictate to them how they should function, you will never choose misery. You will never choose misery. This is not about never getting miserable, never getting sad, never getting angry. This is not about that. We are all human beings. We are all able to feel these things. The point is to know how to regain your balance. It's okay to feel certain things which are hurtful. It's human. The danger is to not be able to get out of it, to not find a way out. Meditation is like the light in the room. If you were in a dark room and someone told you, get out, you don't know where the door is. You can't find the doorknob. You're going to crash into things. But when you turn on the light, oh, okay, the door's there. Or even better, if you didn't know what a door is, you had no concept of a door. You have never been put into a room before. You came from the jungle or something. You would think the door is part of the wall. If it's closed, you're going to bang your head against it. You're going to hurt yourself. But if you understand what a door is and what it is for and how to use it, all you're going to do is turn the doorknob and open the door. Meditation is exactly like that. It shows you the way out, to be free from your mind, to be free from everything that is hurting you, making you a slave to outside situations. So we sit in meditation We don't do anything when we sit in meditation. We observe. All we do is observe. And observing, it's not even observing, but being aware. Just heightening your sense of awareness, your sense of perception. That's all. It's not even it's not something you do. It's something you allow to happen. Remember now, meditation is not something you do. It's got zero effort. The hard part is not how to do it. I'm trying. The problem is you are trying. You should not try anything, because the moment you try, you've put in effort. And the moment you put in effort, that's it. It's lost. The more you're going to put effort in it, the further away from it you'll be. So, living in a world where we have to do effort to get up in the morning, gotta do effort to put my clothes on, effort to go here and go to work and do work I don't like, or if you like it, good for you. But people always seem that if you want something, you gotta do effort for it. But not everything works that way, especially in the subjective world, which is another dimension. In the physical world, yes, if you want to pick something up, you need effort, especially if it's heavy. In the subjective world or the spiritual world, I don't want to use all those terms because I don't want to sound so poetic. I want to sound as scientific as possible. In that realm, things work differently. If you put effort in something, it's going to work against you. A simple example: if you try not to think of something, that's going to be the only thing you're going to think about. You see, that's how the mind works. There's your first basic lesson on the mind, and there are a lot more. But it's good if you discover what they are, because anyone can talk about it, but as long as it's not in your experience, if you haven't tried it and seen that if it works or how it works, it doesn't matter what I say, what anybody says. So people are going around, they like to, it's good to know these things, but to read about them or see videos about them, but you have to practice. This is a practice. And only through practice will you know it, because you have to live it. It's like being in love. You can read all you want about love. You can understand it intellectually and everything. You can write great books about love, but if you have never been in love, no matter what you know about love, it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. Okay? It's the same thing. So to know this, you have to dive deep into this and practice. That practice is techniques of meditation. In Zen, it's Zazen. It's sitting down, sitting meditation, with the palms up, focusing on the breath. Breath goes in, breath goes out. This is also a yoga technique, by the way. It's called Kriya Yoga. That's where Zen comes from. A lot of people don't know that. So it's all about the practice. Meditation is a practice, or techniques of meditation are a practice. Correcting myself, because gotta be precise with these things. Only when you do that and you are able to just let your let nature take over you. There's something in the atmosphere which we can't see, we can't smell, we can't taste, but it's there. And you can call it energy, you can call it whatever you want, but it's there. And when you sit in meditation, it's like a radio tuning to find the right frequency to capture the waves in the air. And then you can capture a channel. Meditation is exactly like that. You sit. If you sit right, if you hold yourself right, you receive right. By receiving, things clear up. Not only things inside, but also outside. When inside clears up naturally, everything you see or understand for the outside clears up also. Your mistakes begin to appear. And it's good. Don't be afraid of your mistakes. Your mistakes will allow you to grow if you accept them. If you don't accept them, you will never grow. You will remain a child in the negative sense, not in the positive sense. You will not grow up. So, that's why a lot of people are afraid of meditation. Believe it or not, there are people who are afraid of meditation. They don't want to see inside. They don't want to look inside, especially if there's a lot of things accumulated inside. They're afraid. It's going to hurt their ego. It's going to hurt their pride. They're going to finally realize what damage they have caused to themselves or to people or to, they don't want to see that. It's too hard for them to accept it. But you gotta see that if you want to change, if you want to transform yourself. That's the first step. Clearing your perception, clearing the inside. To see clearer, to understand clearer, to have a sharper perception of things. Yeah, see all the bad things you did, see all the harmful things you did. Okay. It's hurtful. I know. It's hard, I know. But that's the only way you can overcome yourself. That's the only way. There's no other shortcut. You gotta make the sacrifice. Once you do, it won't seem so hard anymore. You'll be so happy you did. Meditation allows you to do that. And that's another reason why meditation, or that's another thing that meditation does to you. Let's put it that way, it's better. So I hope I helped people understand better what meditation is in these disciplines and these practices. If anyone has any questions or whatever, anything you'd like to know, just put it in the comments below. I just started making videos like this where I talk about stuff, and I'm enjoying it. This is I think my second video, and I'm planning on making a lot more, talking about various issues and just things, especially things related to these kind of aspects, these, yeah. But in general, anything which can be talked about or touched in a unique way, or you know, make things a little clearer for people. I'm always happy to do that. And so if you have any questions, any comments, anything, just write it down. This is my YouTube channel, Lion Entity. I keep my videos simple, just like this. I don't try to make them all fancy and where I talk quickly and everything. So I'm just taking my time, just because I want to, these things reflect on people. First, you're like, oh man, this guy's taking so long to speak. Oh my God. But then, then you're gonna start to, wow, the way he talks is helping me relax more because he's not in a rush, and it's good because we're all in a rush, man. We're always in a rush in this goddamn world, man. We're just in a rush, and then we die quickly because we're always in a rush. We're rushing to live, rushing to die. It's not good. Just take your time, man, especially when certain things are sensitive enough. Just take time and do it right. Just relax. It's very important. So, I wish you all a good night, happy evening, peace of mind, all that good stuff. And I'll be making more videos. Peace.